Raypak pool heater. Flame goes out when the wind blows. Every time there's some wind, the flame goes out. Once the wind stops, it starts back up, and so on. What do you do about a heater that the flame goes out when the wind blows? Sounds like a high wind stack situation?
It does, although what's unusual about that is, are we talking a new Raypak or an old one?
A 156A.
Okay.
Does that help you with that?
It does. That does not help me. I'm not familiar enough with the specifics. And here's why. An old heater, a millivolt heater, if it went out, it would burn out a sensor that would shut it off, and the heater would not come back on until that sensor was replaced. In this particular case, the only thing that I can think is happening is it's an electronic ignition heater. When the wind pushes the flame back in, you have a high limit switch that is overheating the heater and shutting it off. After it cools back down, kicks back on. So likely what I would suggest to do, and I'm sure it's some scenario like that, what I would recommend is putting up some type of a structure around it, not over the top necessarily, but at least on the windward side that would make a big enough wind break that the wind doesn't just whip around it and whip right back into the heater, but maybe an L-shaped break so that the wind could whip and yet not create a foil. Like if it's at the corner of a house, oftentimes what happens, I've witnessed it at my own house. The filter equipment's right here, right at the corner. The wind whips around and it kind of comes around that corner, and the heater and everything is right there, and it creates this foil. The wind sort of wraps around, and you can literally watch the flame roll out the front because the air swirls around it and pushes into the heater and then pushes the flame out the front. With a windbreak, with a block, it would cause that wind to come around the house, go around that straight wall, around that L shape, and then swirl right here while your heater's back here. So likely what you need to do is just create some type of a wind block. If it's possible, you could put up a couple pieces of privacy fence. That would help. I know in some locations you can't use privacy fencing, but you might be able to put some shrubs up, some arbors or something organic, something really cool. But you literally have to get that foiling to happen further away from the heater, and that should solve the problem.